All right, we're live. Think so? Yes, we are. All right, I just had this, I like just an idea, and I thought, I don't know, I feel like I want to do it now. So it's basically going through the documentary and just sharing my experiences with making this documentary. This was in 2017. Shalom Shayar. So this was in 2017. There was this a director, film director, who came from France. His name is Julian, and he wanted to learn more about the Samaritans, and that was one of my favorite things to do, is to explain about Samaritans. I'm a tour guide basically, and then I knew that he wanted to actually shoot a documentary on the Samaritans. So that was not my first time that I helped make a documentary, but this time it was the first time where I basically be followed for about 3 weeks. Hey Basil, my friend, good to see you. So I've been basically, Julian suggested that I sit with him and talk more about the Samaritan community, and I was very happy to do so. And I told him that we can, you can tell me just a few weeks before, and I can just take a day or a week or a few weeks off. At that time, it happened that I didn't have any job, and it was a perfect time to basically really go through the ideas with Julian and even start shooting a few footage. So this one was on the pilgrimage. This is his name, Julian Montanel Minanto. Sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly, Julian. Hello, Biblical DNA. Good to hear you. Good to read from you again. So yeah, this shot is one of my favorite shots in the documentary because, first of all, look at how beautiful the view looks. Like there's clouds over this is not Nablus, it's more of like the beginning part of Nablus. This is Balata camp, more on the hills, I think it's Itamar and Alon More. So anyways, I thought that he should really come and take it, and I told him like, hey Julian, come, this is a perfect shot. But I had to do it fast because it's on the pilgrimage, and it was towards the end of the pilgrimage. But I was like, I'm not gonna miss this opportunity. Like I love views like this, especially when the clouds are up. So this is on the pilgrimage. I think it was Sukkot, the festival of the Sukkot. Want to know about mezuzah? Can a Muslim put a mezuzah at home if there is no kosher mezuzah available in my city? Can I download it from the internet? Yeah, I think, well, I don't know what you mean by kosher mezuzah, but we have a mezuzah that looks like a big tablet, and we have Hebrew written on it. So I will be sharing some products in the future. Let's not call them products, but some people ask me to have posters, have ancient Hebrew on it. It's a beautiful way to share the Samaritan tradition, but this is coming soon. So back to the documentary. This is a shot that I really loved, and he took it behind me, and I was like, all right, did you take it? And I was like, yeah, but I hope I had more time. So, but in the end, it turned out to be a really nice one. And as soon as I look on the right side, boom, I love this. Basil, I miss you, man. Come visit us again. It is a beautiful view. So this is Mount Gerizim. This is the neighborhood where the Samaritan community lives. You can see Nablus on the right side here, Shechem, and you can see the basically even the Munib Masri's palace here. And he have beautiful palace over there, like a Greek. It's made like a Greek architecture, basically, with a beautiful forest around here. He has really good relationships with the community. Do you see here, this view right here? This is one of the most beautiful views on top of Mount Gerizim. This is actually on a clear day. You can see the sea from here. So that's also, this is also why Mount Gerizim has incredible views around. And strategically, also, it was used for military purposes because it has a really nice viewpoint, like a panoramic viewpoint, which makes seeing anyone coming incredibly easier. So you can understand why it was a very important place. You need to know when your enemies, if the earlier the enemies are coming, the more you have time to prepare. So this is why one of the reasons why Mount Gerizim was really always controlled militarily, other than also it being the Samaritan main place where we pray. But anyways, this is where the Samaritan community lives. We have, I think about 400, we are about 400 and perhaps 30 Samaritan living here. We had twin babies been born a week ago. So the numbers of all the total of the Samaritans might be 860, around that number. This is me without the beard. Young me. I think I was 22, I think. So yeah, 7 years ago or something. I have to admit, I was also a little bit sick on that time. You can hear it from my voice. Have you ever come to India? No, I would love to. It's amazing. I mean, I love some people there. I love Sadhguru's work, for example. I think he has some nice ideas. And overall, I like Indians. So would love to come. Specifically Indian food. I tried it and like really nice. So, hey, Boot, I'm sorry to bring up this sensible topic, but how has the war in Gaza affected you as Samaritan people? I will just say a few words on this because it's not exactly the topic that I'm covering, but it has affected in terms of, for example, us being able to go around easier. It makes the whole region a little bit tense, so it's puts you on high awareness all the time, and it's sometimes a little bit makes you a little bit anxious. But we're not really affected directly. There's no shooting or anything around. It's pretty calm, thankfully. And we're really in good relations with both the Palestinians and the Israelis. So this is also one of my favorite shots. Me and my grandfather, a very iconic thing in the Samaritan traditions is, I say iconic, it's also a very, I think like one of the pillars of the Samaritan tradition is when the grandfather and his son and his grandsons sit and read Torah and also practice the melodies, because see, when I'm reading the melody over here, the melody itself is not written on the book, so it's actually written. It's basically learned by heart. So exactly. So this is basically here. My grandfather, I made a small mistake here, kind of embarrassing, but I like this is. There's 1,000 melodies, so I don't know all of them, but this is a good way to learn. You don't learn unless you make mistakes sometimes, My haplogroup, I forgot to I can't tell you the exact thing. I have to check it out, but I did get 96% Levant. ولا غلطة صح؟ ولا غلطة. I can come back and finish it. I did go. Sometimes you have no choice. Especially because people expect you to pass on the tradition, and you have to learn them by heart. EV7, EV22, thank you Biblical DNA for pointing that out. So notice this is the there's two ways. There's two ways that we put the clothing on. One way is this way, where we have the white robe on and the red hats, and one way is where we don't have the white robe on. The talit is what it's called. Actually, it's not a robe. It's more like something like the white cloth. Talit is this. We call it saya in Arabic. So, and this is the umbaz. So this is worn if there's no prayer, and if it's also on a specific prayers on the beginning of Shabbat, for example, during Shabbat, and on festivals, like any kind of, for example, any day where it's not necessarily a prayer, but it's a day where we keep Shabbat. So we have to go out only wearing this, not jeans or anything like that. So I do have to hear it myself. I'm not hearing it. Let's see.
كان منتشرين في حوالين الأراضي المقدسة، في الأراضي المقدسة يعني في فلسطين، العراق، سوريا.
I remember when this was shown in one of the basically one of the presentations. You can say that this documentary was viewed in 3 different places in New York. And one of the cinemas that this was viewed on, I had this weird incident where, see this part, I mention the countries, and then I say Palestine, and then apparently one of the people in the crowd kind of told me, but like, you said Palestine, like, how come you said Palestine? You know, it's Israel or whatever. Now I didn't go there. I expected those kind of political questions or whatever you want to call them. I really never have any specific intent to disprove or prove anyone. Like, I just love the traditions here, and I love the Palestinian culture, and I love the Israeli culture. There's beautiful things on both sides, but we have our own also. So this is why we really are not involved in politics. And my Palestinian friends, I have many. I grew up in Nablus, and I basically have, I just call it Palestine because that's what I've been also raised to call it. And there's also the Israeli side where my friends call it Israel, and I will call it Israel. It's just really how they call it. But I understand why it kind of causes some uncomfortable situations, you can say. So, for example, like after that other person confronted me why I said Israel, another person came and said to him, like, hey, yeah, you should. I mean, apparently she was also like, I think she was Palestinian. Yeah, she was Palestinian, and they just went at each other at the end of the film, which I completely understand, but it gives you a point. So you're asking, I love Torah as I'm a Muslim. I believe in Torah, and I'm trying to learn Hebrew language from YouTube. I will give you some to learn soon. I really am planning on sharing how to read ancient Hebrew. So yeah, soon.
الطائفة السامية مرت في كتير صعوبات، سواء الفقر، التشريد، القتل. كان عدد الطائفة يعني المعروف هناك في ذاك الوقت 1900 حتى 1800 كان معروف أقل من
here like the documentary kind of goes and shows one kind of disabled person, and then another one. Now this kind of might make it look like we have more people like this than what is actually the case. For example, I think we have, out of 860 people who are, for example, blind. We don't have blind people. I mean, we have like maybe deaf people, but really, I don't know the exact number, but it's less than many people think, like less than 20 or less than 15, really. So, and that's luckily for us, because some people say, like, do you have any genetic problems because of close marriage? Sometimes we have less close marriage, like cousin is of course the closest. but then again, we do make sure to do the checks, any checks necessary to avoid any problems. Is there a Samaritan celebration where a kunafe is a must-have? I'm guessing weddings, haha. But other than that, wow, a very, very good question. We actually, it's not a must-have, but it's definitely became so traditional to do it, so that we actually definitely do it every year. And it's we call it the Mosim, the season. It's basically the day where Moses met Aaron. We have the kunafe, where after the parasha, the day where Moses met his brother Aaron for the first time. I love kunafe, it's really delicious. Is there a lot of Samaritans with disabilities? No. So yeah, like I said, it's much less than many people think. Much less, thankfully. And because and even those people who are disabled, they're living in a very nice they have a lot of support, because the community is always together, right? And that obviously allows people to just take care of each other easier. Especially also, our elders, they never go to any elder house or anything like that. The ones who take care of them are the next generation. So, hi Abood, is there a Samaritan Arabic or English glossary available to upload? I don't think it's ready to upload, but there are some books that I've seen, definitely. Notice how Samaritans also pray barefoot, mainly because one of the main traditions is that when Moses, for example, went on Mount Sinai for the first time, and he saw the burning bush, God told him from the burning bush, basically, remove your shoes, or remove your sandals, or whatever, because you are on holy on a holy place, on a sacred place. So this is where we pray. It's a sacred place here in the Knesset synagogue.
أقرب زواج هو عبارة يعني أقرب شيء هو ولاد عم أو ولاد خال، يمكن يتسبب بمشاكل وراثية، مشاكل دينية. في عندنا ناس رومي وسكسون، وهي طائفة سامرية عددها اليوم.
Wow, at that time it was 780.
في كل العالم.
So interesting. In 7 or 8 years now, we increased almost 60, 70. This is the Chazan, the cantor, who leads the prayer, and we have basically, I think we have something around what is it, 6? I think 6 cantors. 2 in the main synagogue, and I believe 4 in the second one. The 4, they also practice also. They kind of rotate each Shabbat. We have a Chazan. So this is Chazan Kohen Najah. He has a beautiful voice. Want to go skip a little bit because of the time. Let's go from here.
الأراضي الإسرائيلية والأراضي الفلسطينية، هاي الشغلة سببت في إيجابيات وفي سلبيات في نفس الوقت. خاصة إنه أنا صارت معي شغلة إنه في منطقة إسرائيلية بس كنت خارج من.
Yeah, I've said this story
هاي الشغلة
a lot of times because it left it left something in me. It was very close at home, right? So the fact that you can be in danger because you were in a specific place only for Israelis, but you were in a Palestinian car, and if you go out of it at this place, it can be dangerous. I mean, yeah. Well, now I have a car, so that should not happen. All right, here we go to Nablus, and I believe I get a haircut. One of the funniest, I think I mean, not funny, but kind of, you could call it funny. It was funny at the first time. Is when he puts the skin cleanser or something here. He kind of went too far with how much he cleaned my face. That was not. I was like, why is he going really strong? Is it because of the camera? I'm dying here. But you know, act normal. You have a camera on you. But yeah, I guess that's what you need to have a clear face sometimes, maybe. So today we have about 15. I believe we're around 15 women from Ukraine, and they learned how to speak. They learned some of them, I think, learned Arabic in like 6 or 7 months, which is really impressive. But notice how, for example, her child here is also reading Russian, which is incredible because they have Arabic. They know Arabic, Hebrew, English, and ancient Hebrew, and I believe this is Ukrainian. I think there's a difference between Ukrainian and Russian. But yeah, 5. It's pretty impressive. What is the difference between the Hebrew alphabet and the Samaritan alphabet? Oh wow, that's a whole video, Mr. The Shayar. It's a long video, but you can say that the Samaritan alphabet is a kind of like more drawings of specific things in the world, like more holographic. Is that the word, holographic? Than the Jewish Hebrew, which is known as the Assyrian Hebrew. Although the Assyrian Hebrew is also holographic, but maybe a little bit less. Do Samaritans speak more Arabic than Hebrew? No, half of us speak Arabic. The other half that live in Tel Aviv speak Hebrew.
من هاي التحديات مثلا انه عندنا في الطائف السامية حوالي 780 شخص اكثر من
This is on the day where we have the Passover Passover ceremony. Everyone is wearing fancy and Shayar, I'm sorry my friend, it's kind of like, you know, this is also talking about the documentary, but I'll try to answer your questions as much as possible. Brito. That was actually heardable from all the way from there. I mean, they took the voice and the sound and made it a little bit higher, but it's still.
لما تكون سامري راح تحس انك عايش مع عائلة 780 شخص.
True.
ما بتذكر انه يوم تعرفت على بريتو. نعرف كل شيء عن بعض وما في يعني اشياء غريبة يعني انه ممكن نكتشفها عن بعض.
So
يعني كتير خوية.
True.
شباب ثانية بس أنا وبريتو يعني.
I had a lot of fun making this documentary with Brito. We really enjoyed every bit of it. And you know, the questions that I asked him, even though there was a camera, but it was genuine want to know questions, you know. Alright, this is where we sit with I forgot her name. But we explained, we tried to know if she's Samaritan, if she knew about Samaritans. Apparently, she just knew a little bit, and so we explained more. And she seems very interested to know more. It always makes people always want to know more. It makes them super curious. So we have two passports, two IDs, Israeli and Palestinian. Definitely makes it easier to go around the land, but you do get into weird situations because of that sometimes. Kind of like the Waze, for example, will take you. When I say Waze, I mean GPS or whatever. Will take you to a specific place and then tell you this place is only for Israelis or for Palestinians, or it can give you shortcuts that might tell you you're not allowed to use the shortcut, but technically you can. These kinds of things. Yes, Red Shark, I do know Hebrew. I know also ancient Hebrew, but that sounds complicated indeed. It is. It is so complicated, but we're used to it. Yes. Yeah, that was funny. I think we're talking Arabic. كان actually Red Shark يعني كان מדבר עברית. ما שבالك أخي. What the fuck is going on يعني? الجماعة يهود ولا عرب ولا أجانب? What are they? What is he? No. Sugar بس. سكر. Wants the sugar. But yeah, it's kind of true what I said over here is like when we do whenever people, for example, like know that our name is, like, for example, my side Abdallah Cohen, or whenever some people see us, for example, it's true that we can speak really good Hebrew and we can speak really good Arabic, and that's something that confuses people. Like, you can only be one, you can't be both. But I believe, like, for example, the Muslims, the Arabs or Muslims who live in Israeli cities also have very good Hebrew. But you get the point. But here specifically, also, when you ask for kosher and you speak Arabic, then you have to wonder, like, how, like, why is he asking for kosher? If he's speaking Arabic and he's a Muslim. So. But the reality is, we do speak Arabic, but we have the Torah, and we do have ancient, and we do have ancient Hebrew, and we have kosher, and yeah. Hidden camera? Yes, we do believe that my family is from Herman.
Go and talk 3 languages at the same time, but like talk perfect Hebrew, then talk perfect Arabic. Yeah. And then watch the reaction.
Nice one, yeah.
Hey, Amir, good to hear you. Good to see you, my friend.
No.
Good to read from you.
Okay, so anyway,
check out Israel Uncovered channel. Pretty awesome. Hope to see more content from you, Amir. So, yeah, that was funny. So I want to make a restaurant and call it something related to Samaritan.
Samaritan one is okay. خلاص يا Samaritan beer, Samaritan tahini, good Samaritan, Samaritan blah blah, Samaritan Arab, Samaritan wine.
It's a good branding, I guess, in many ways. Like, some people love Samaritan Arak, so because there has this tradition behind it, I guess. The alcoholic drink, by the way, Arak. So. Isn't that fun sometimes to do? I miss doing that. when you do your hand, like with the air. You kind of gave him the mid finger over there, if you didn't notice. But here, I think there's a mistake in translation. Brito says we're back to the.
A ride for 1 hour
Oh, you see now.
brings you from world to another world. Just in Israel, like just in Israel.
Back to Hawara then.
Back to Farah.
See, Brito doesn't like Hawara because of the traffic that happens there, so he didn't say a nice thing. But I'm sure he means good.
The traditions.
The traditions? Wow.
Like
But
how the
Saturday-
cases going on from people to
What do you think about the future for Samaritans? You have a very lively culture. Well, good question. I don't really know, exactly how to answer that, because I do get asked like, what is the future of the Samaritans? For now, we're trying to really, like, we really worry about passing the traditions to the next generation. We dedicate a good amount of time and energy to do that, not only on Shabbat and festivals, but also we have daily things that the children and the next generation do to keep the traditions and learn ancient Hebrew and learn the traditions behind Torah and everything connected to that. But at the same time, we don't know what happens if there's about, like, what if Samaritans are at some point 20,000? How will they come to Mount Gerizim, and how will they manage to, there will be different communities, and those communities might also have their own. Each community will have their own way of keeping Shabbat or keeping, practicing the Passover ceremony. It would be really interesting to see how well everyone is doing, how like similar are everyone practicing the traditions. For example, we already have a Samaritan community on Mount Gerizim, and we also have a Samaritan community in Cholon, in Tel Aviv. But we already can see some, not a lot, but some differences. Although they're very minor, and they can also be because of the geography of where the two communities are. But we'll talk about that later.
You don't mean traditions. I think you mean like community.
Yeah, of course. Like, you don't feel free, man. You don't feel relaxed.
You don't feel relaxed.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I like the community.
Samaritans.
Everyone is here for you when you have a bad time, and everyone here for you in the happy times too.
Yeah, this is very true, and you feel it in the community as a Samaritan. Like, being a Samaritan, you'll feel and you'll appreciate the fact that you're from this community. As humans, it feels good to be part of the community, and of any community really, especially one like I think like this community, the Samaritans, because really people do care. They do not really like ignore anyone's need of help if they need anything, and they always here for it just feels like really, like I said a few minutes ago, like a big family. So this I have to say on this
Part of a big family,
there I
Everything has a
just
role,
said it now.
right?
We humans, we survive, on what? From learning. That's how we survive.
We'll do Amir. We'll tell him hello. He's
One of the
good.
wealthiest
Good.
in the world.
That was funny also.
شو المشكلة؟
شفت مرتين انا
وين
ستة
شايفة؟
This still happens. If you're wondering, this still happens still today. My uncle asks me to
وين شفتها؟
learn a few things,
بالفضائية الفلسطينية
بالفضائية الفلسطينية.
to help him with computer things. I mean,
واحد حط شو اسمه كان متحف السامي
هاي
متحف
بحث
متحف جريزيم
هاي بحث.
متحف سامي متحف سامي
بس السامي شيء أول شيء بعدين بنغير.
yeah, I do realize that. Sorry.
شو؟
لا مش هذا البث المباشر هذا
أنت شو اللي بدك إياه؟
انا بدي التقرير تبع الاخبار
معناته مش منزلين.
نفسها هي بذاتها مش كيف ما نزلوا شو شفته
Well, in the end, we do find it.
في شيء لهذا 20,000
But
مشاهدة 24,000 views
um,
مشاهدات منيح يعني هنشوف شو في تعليقات
this one he says, but you wrote it all in English. We were writing a post on Facebook, and you know, when we were writing, I don't know if he was writing, he was just writing, and he forgot to change the language. So that's why it says you wrote it all in English, if you're wondering.
يعني احنا صغار كانوا يحكوا لنا كثير قصص عن ابائنا واجدادنا. انا شخصيا كنت كثير احب هاي القصص. كانت الطائفة طالعة على جبل جرزيم انه تعمل عيد الفسح.
We do this pilgrimage 3 times a year, and
يعني فقيرين.
Samaritans in Tel Aviv and Holon also come to live here for a few days, and specifically also for this pilgrimage Ag in ancient Hebrew.
الطائفة السامرية كانت يعني على استعداد.
It's not usually that cold, but on that day it happened that it's one of the coldest times. Amir, I have not done that yet, but I definitely planned on it. It's a big video also that I don't want to just do it like they say. You know, I want to work on it, but it's really interesting. There's particularly interesting differences that I'll talk about. But yeah.
أحد الكهنة اللي هناك ما صدق اللي شافه يعني وصار يبكي يعني فحكى له أنت من وين؟ أنت والله بعتك وهيك. فحكى ما حكى الزلمة. الخواريف ضلت وقاموا الطائفة السامرية في هذا الراعي اختفى لأنه كان في غيم كتير ما يقدر يشوف.
Shayar, sorry my friend, I do not understand your question specifically. I'll try to reply to you guys' questions as much as possible, but I want to share a few things here. So this is a Passover ceremony, and it's also one of my favorite days of the year for different reasons. One of them is that it feels like a kind of a mystical experience to be in the Passover. It feels like you really went into a portal and went back in time, because it is a 3,600 year tradition, as we believe, so that makes sense. But also the things that happened, little details, the smell of the fire, or the sounds of the melodies, or like even the crowd around us, and everyone is waiting for a specific moment of the slaughtering of the lambs. It's an incredible experience. If you're wondering why do we have this red spot here, blood mark, this is mainly because the Torah does talk about basically putting blood on the mezuzah, right? Putting blood on the right and the left of the door, and also on the top, and mainly because of the angel of death, or basically God tells the Israelites that they shall do that, so that the angel of death, when he comes to kill the firstborn of the Egyptians, he will pass on the Israelites' house. This is why it's called Passover, right? So that's the not pass on, but pass over, yeah. This is why I always say, a funny Samaritan joke is, why did the Samaritan cross the road? To pass over. Sorry, I just love it. It's fun. So yeah, this is one of the most kind of dramatic times in the Passover ceremony, and it is the time where we put the sheep inside the holes, because first of all, these are relatively pretty big holes, and there's no protection in this time. People need to be careful how they put their sheep. Not only are you careful about yourself, and you need to be careful not to harm yourself, but you also have to be careful to put the sheep in the correct way so that your family can eat and that it doesn't burn, right? So we do have connection to the Jewish people then, specifically also because they are from the Judah tribe, and in a sense they are our cousins, and we share beautiful traditions. In some ways we also, I believe, integrate each other in some ways, but yeah, definitely connected more than. Of course, this is where we put the mud and water above the holes, so we cover the holes with mud and water because that turns the fire off, and that makes the food not the meat not burn. So and everyone kind of like running and bringing mud so that it turns off the fire very fast. By this second, after a few minutes, you can already smell the meat cooking, and it's it smells pretty good. Also, people go out and start chanting ancient melodies, one of my favorite times, definitely. And by 12, this is at 12 a.m., at 12, basically midnight, 12 a.m., because that's how the Israelites leave Egypt. We bring the food in the middle, and then we sing this beautiful chant. It's once a year chant in this melody, I mean. This is 100%, like full goosebumps here. Like the sound is so strong, you can feel the vibration in this time. It's an incredible time. Because the main idea is you're celebrating independence, right? You're celebrating the ending of slavery. It's like the human spirit has this thing of wanting to be free. So it's even like it's a human thing as well. It's not only tradition. So people here go and they eat their lambs at home, or some people stay at the same place, the Passover place. And we're not, technically the traditionally you have to eat with your hand. You have to eat fast, right, with your hand. Because that's how the Israelites left Egypt. It was fast, right? So that's how you pass the tradition. The kids will ask you, well, like, why do we do that, right? Why do we eat fast? Why do we slaughter the sheep? And then this curiosity brings the answer to tell the story.
I'm 24 and I'm still virgin. Do you believe that?
That was funny.
Stop talking about
that. Was a long time ago. But, oops. That was a long time ago, but it's one of the funniest moments. It was definitely funny.
Listen, man, our religion.
But here there's also he brings out some important points. He says we can't, in our religion, we can't be a football player or a doctor or whatever. In reality, you can, but it definitely is more challenging because of, first of all, the community being small, and there's different things we have to keep. You cannot really leave the community easily and just practice the Samaritan religion alone. I mean, not particularly if you want to come back to the community. It's super hard. Until now, there's no one who left permanently to study and then came back. It just didn't happen yet. But so this is why I understand Bito and what he's saying. It's you have to stay with the community as much as you can. So if you want to really keep the honor and the right to stay.
No, we can't. We can't be a football manager. Listen, man, what the bullshit is that? That's all bullshit. I think that in our acceptable.
Yes, fame is not.
It's not acceptable.
To be famous is not acceptable, he says. I mean, you can be famous. I don't think Brito. I don't know what he meant. You can be famous. I think he meant not to be like maybe being an actor or something. Although still you can do that. But again, challenging.
السامرية ما كانت تعيش عليه طول حياتها.
Beautiful view of Naples here. Mount Ebal is in front of you right here. So it's Mount Ebal, and we're on Mount Gerizim in this photo. And you know, the word, the ancient Canaanite word is for the city is Shechem, Ashkem, and it means shoulders. So you can actually understand why, right? It's two shoulders. Some would say it's the shoulder of Mount Gerizim, but you can see why, like the word Shechem, shoulder, comes here. There's many fountains that come down from Mount Gerizim to Nablus. Something like 7 or 8 of them. Water fountains, like drinkable. Here's one of my favorite moments, is where we go to the old city of Nablus. In search for the synagogue.
معلم وين بالضبط نضلنا قدام؟
الاجتياح برضه مظبوط ضربت المنطقه هي هون. اجى عندي من فتره ناس من البلد تقريبا ومعهم ناس من برا من اسرائيل. لانه الضرب معي هنا.
So this was a pretty you know, sad to see, because I did wanna. I think this was maybe the first time, if not the second time, but it was sad to see it in this condition, because it's a relatively more than 130-year-old synagogue. But because Samaritans left a long time ago, really no one took care of it. It just became a part of a kind of like a yard of house. We live on Mount Gerizim, yes.
هذا لما بالصيام نصوم نقعد نراجعوا هون والله
ذكريات بتحكي.
It was definitely one of the most eye-opening moments in the documentary when I went to the old city. You know, when I was there, you imagine really your ancestors walking here, and you imagine how the prayers were here, and it's a great feeling. This is where I discuss a few things, a little bit of the history of the land here, and also about my name, Arabic, Hebrew. And it's true here, we have really good coexistence with the Palestinians and the Israelis. So. I would like to, I think, to just skip till the end here, because we're almost done, but...
You love those cornetos, don't you?
Cornetos, nice ice cream.
Another day, same place, the lovely routine.
The lovely routine. We definitely like sitting in here and the views and this, like really this conversation would not only happen because of the camera. We have those conversations even off camera, because you know, being a Samaritan puts you in specific situations where you have to ask those questions and you know, like understand where's your life going, right? Is especially like in relationships, in marriage, it's a huge topic here. For those asking, did Brito get married yet? Not yet.
That some girl will accept to live here.
But
I would like to.
Hopefully soon. He wants to.
The mentality doesn't belong to our community.
He means that like living with the community. Here he doesn't like. I mean, here he says he doesn't like it, but you have to, you know, admit, he has to admit that he started liking the community more. He was just maybe going through some specific things with the community at that time, some pressures from here and there maybe. But there's a relatively new documentary that he does show his love for the traditions and the community.
25. Yeah, I mean, he's 25 is like pretty young.
25. It was 25. He's 30,
Yeah, that's don't
31,
have
32 now.
a
31.
relationship. But maybe as a Samaritan, it's kind of becomes a challenge already when you're 25. You know, if I were you, I think I'm open to everything. You know what I mean?
Man, אנחנו חיים בחור אחד, אחי, בחור. חיים בחור שכמעט מנותק מהעולם.
I mean, I understand again here, but you know, there's always challenges wherever you go in life, and I like this. I like this challenge of being a Samaritan, being also like the next generation, to bring the next generation also to keep this legacy alive. Yeah, and the directors asked us to do a few dances for the ending, and we agreed. It was fun. All right, this is it, guys. It's kind of getting late. I thank you for watching. Sorry if I couldn't answer all of your questions, but I really enjoyed it, and hope we can have more of these kind of lives. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and see you soon.